right now on 5 on Your Side at 10.
Tonight, clean up on all the aisles at a local grocery store.
They just kind of like pulled in and they're like, why can't I get groceries?
What lies beneath that's causing the problem?
The stormy skies are mostly staying to our south tonight. The big pattern change that comes heading into this weekend.
But first tonight, 5 on Your Side continues pushing for answers about the growing homeless encampment at City Hall and how leaders plan to keep the area safe and sanitary.
Tonight, that encampment keeps growing. Good evening. Thank you for being with us. I'm Ann Allred.
And I'm Mike Bush. Our Robert Townsend is live tonight outside City Hall. He's been digging into how the city intends to keep the grounds clean as more homeless people move in. Robert.
Mike and Ann, for the second straight day, I've been reaching out to the mayor, the president of the Board of Aldermen, and several alderpersons, hoping somebody could talk to me about this homeless encampment now. City leaders would not go on camera, but that's not stopping others from sharing their thoughts. This is the homeless encampment that's in the heart of downtown St. Louis. And as it apparently keeps on growing, trash keeps on blowing across the grass, the steps of City Hall, and along Market Boulevard.
If we see trash on the ground, we pick it up.
Tuesday, Gino McCoy told us he, his pregnant wife, and their 3 pit bulls have been living in tents here for 2 weeks. McCoy says he keeps his side of the City Hall encampment tidy.
Everybody pretty much pitches in to try and keep it clean.
At least 24 colorful tents popped up on the Market Street side of City Hall more than a month ago. Unhoused singles, couples, and families are living at the encampment, some right under the mayor's office.
We have elderly people out here, people have mental problems that are out here.
Longtime homeless advocate Larry Rice admits he helped bring an unhoused family here.
These people are exercising their First Amendment rights to protest a lack of shelter, no place to shower, no place to rest, just continue to keep on moving.
A mayor spokesman says the city is providing its unhoused population with services, encouraging them to go to shelters and helping others through its Tiny Homes Transitional Housing Initiative. Under that plan, the city used more than $1 million in American Rescue Plan Act funds to provide temporary living space for the homeless near downtown. Meantime, tourists trekking to St. Louis,
very sad,
have plenty to say about this.
As a visitor, I think they should be using some of the empty buildings. There are so many of them downtown that are fabulous. And why not house them in a...
I would have porta potties for them.
The mayor's spokesperson says right now there's no plan to put porta potties down here for these people. He tells me they want to get them in permanent housing. Now, I'm also told workers with the city's parks department are picking up the trash at this encampment every day. We're live downtown. I'm Robert Townsend, 5 on Your Side.
Now to a live look at St. Charles tonight. Much quieter out there than it was 24 hours ago when severe storms moved through. Weather First Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell is tracking storms to our south and a summer-like end to September.
And those storms tonight to our south, Mike, nothing like what we saw last night at this time across the area, especially out in St. Charles, down into parts of Franklin County. Here's a look in St. Louis right now. Pretty quiet across the area at this moment, especially when you compare it with yesterday. Radar pictures, it's not completely quiet for everybody. As you go far to the south of St. Louis, we do have some thunderstorms down across parts of Iron and Reynolds County. They're moving over into Madison County, Missouri. This is all sliding southeast, not going to impact any of us around St. Louis. But that upper level system, it's still spinning around the Great Lakes. And that boundary, it's still just to our south and southwest. So with that in mind, we do have to keep at least a chance for a shower or thunderstorm, mainly south of St. Louis in the forecast until early tomorrow. Just a chance, not expecting a repeat of what we saw last night into very early this morning. Sunshine will be returning later tomorrow and a toasty weekend ahead. We'll explain why in a few minutes, Mike.
All right, Scott. Developing tonight, an 18-year-old is dead after a double shooting in South St. Louis. It happened this afternoon on Osage near South Broadway. A second victim later showed up to the hospital. His condition is not known. Police have not released information on a suspect or what led to the shooting.
A St. Louis woman is now charged in the shooting of her co-worker. Today, prosecutors charged Maya Blankenship with first-degree assault. According to court documents, she shot her co-worker during an argument at the Family Dollar store near North Florissant in North City yesterday afternoon. The victim remains in critical condition right now. Blankenship also faces child endangerment charges because 2 teenagers were nearby at the time of the shooting.
Tonight, a Metro East grocery store forced to close. The culprit, an old coal mine.
It is causing asphalt to crack and buckle. Even a sinkhole has started to form. The city of Belleville has closed about 1 block of Queensway Drive behind Ruler Foods on North Belt Avenue. 5 on your side's Laura Barczewski talked with locals who've been watching this happen all over the city.
Weave and Wobble owner Nicole Shanks says over the last few days, she's watched the street just fall apart.
They shut the road down, and then I've had students texting me ever since asking if I was still in business. And I am. Everything's fine, but apparently not over there.
The Belleville Fire Department says it all started here in the street. They found out about the mine subsidence and realized it had reached all the way over to Ruler Foods, causing them to close the store.
It's unfortunate for the community because Ruler Foods actually is very busy during the evening, so it's been kind of shocking the last 48 hours to watch people like come, and they weren't aware of it either, so they just kind of like pulled in and they're like, why can't I get groceries? And now we know why.
The Illinois Department of Natural Resources says they were called out on Sunday to investigate and found the mine subsidence is roughly 300 feet in diameter and is still actively shifting. A local realtor, John Grissom, says this is about the time of year when they start to see subsidences pop up.
Then as we have a really dry summer or a summer that's really wet and then really dry and really wet, you see the ground shifting. And when this happens, these mines, these holes in the ground, tunnels, can cave in.
And it's something Belleville business owners actually have to plan for.
I know that there are mines in this area because we have to use that under our insurance policies.
Grissom says from his experience, they take a while to fix if they ever do fix the properties.
Typically, I think it's 3 years by the state before they'll fix it, that they come out and put pins down and then measure them and make sure they haven't moved. And when they haven't moved, I think it's 3 years. That's when they pay you out and recommend that you fix it at that point.
Reporting in Belleville, Laura Barczewski, 5 on your side.
In a statement, Ruler Foods says it continues to work closely with experts and city officials while the store remains closed until further notice. Customers are encouraged and welcome to shop at its stores in Fairview Heights and Collinsville.
Tonight, St. Louis County Police are asking for your help to locate 2 ice-cold bandits. The duo broke into a business on Big Bend near Doherty Ferry Road early Friday morning. Police say the pair caused nearly $1,500 in damage before stealing shaved ice. If you recognize them, you're asked to call St. Louis County Police. Tonight, a group of John Burroughs students are safe after a harrowing ordeal at the school's wilderness camp near Salem, Missouri. Search and rescue crews were called in late last night after the group didn't return from their hike. School officials tell 5 on your side the group lost daylight hours before they could safely return to base camp. In a statement, John Burroughs officials say, quote, "We are relieved and also very proud of our students. They followed their training protocols by setting up an overnight camp, supporting each other, and waiting for help. No one was hurt. The school says it will review protocols to ensure this doesn't happen again."
Tonight, the whole country is still talking about a Missouri teen's chair-turning performance on NBC's The Voice. 16-year-old Ruby Lee got all 4 coaches to turn their chairs with her yodeling rendition of Patsy Montana's "I Want to Be a Cowboy's Sweetheart." And her poor performance has gone viral.
Less than 24 hours after her national television debut, she talked with our Brent Solomon about all the extra attention and her thanks to fans right here in the St. Louis area. Brent?
And she's getting a whole lot of fans, guys. Ruby Lee is from a small town, Foley, Missouri, about 50 miles north of St. Louis. The 16-year-old is a star in the making, and now the whole world gets to see as she tries to convince viewers she's the voice. Catching the attention of all 4 coaches on The Voice is a rare feat. This Missouri teen did just that Tuesday night.
How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good.
The next day, I caught up with 16-year-old Ruby Lee, who will advance on the show.
It's definitely such a shock. I'm like still trying to process like everything.
Since the show-stopping performance, her TikTok soared from 300 followers to more than 35,000.
My phone's going crazy. I've got so many notifications. It's amazing. I love it. I'm like trying to respond to everybody.
The country singer who picked Reba McEntire as her coach has been singing since she was 9 years old.
I'm a self-taught singer. I don't come from a musical family or anything.
She's mastered it all.
I love like rock music, I love blues, I love like jazz. I've learned how to sing all those genres and do them different ways but make them my own.
I asked if we should expect her to tap into those other genres or if she will stick with country this season.
I wouldn't say to only expect country, I would say just expect anything because you never know.
One thing's for certain, she's got the eyes of the world watching closely and her hometown Missouri team cheering her on.
I would like to say I love you. I really appreciate the love, and this won't be the last you see of me, so.
I don't think so. She tells me she's excited about this journey, but a bit nervous about the idea of possibly becoming famous. You can catch my full unedited interview with Ruby Lee right now on KSDK.com. Just click on the As Seen on TV tab.
A scare on a school playground. A young girl hit by a stray arrow. Tonight, the person now the target of police and prosecutors. Millions of dollars up for grabs, and you could cash in.
It's like I get to play Santa Claus 365 days a year.
Tonight, the new program in Illinois to reunite you with your unclaimed cash.
The pattern is shifting over the next few days. Why that means the first week of October is going to be a warm one.
One person is dead, 2 others are hurt after a fiery crash involving a school bus in New York State. Police say a bus and a car collided, causing the bus to burst into flames. The driver of the car died. The bus, carrying 22 students and 3 adults, was returning from a field trip. They all escaped serious injuries. Tonight, a 7-year-old girl in Kansas is recovering after being hit with a stray arrow while playing outside her school. Police say a man was doing target practice on a nearby property when the arrow flew onto the playground. The girl was hit in the arm and suffered non-life-threatening injuries. The man was arrested on battery and child endangerment charges.
Tonight, 7 presidential hopefuls faced off in the second Republican primary debate. It just wrapped up at the Ronald Reagan Presidential Library and Museum in Simi Valley, California. Several of the candidates went after Vivek Ramaswamy for joining TikTok to go after young voters after he'd called the social media platform digital fentanyl for teens.
We need to win elections. And part of how we win elections is reaching the next generation of young Americans where they are.
This is infuriating because TikTok is one of the most dangerous social media apps that we could have. And what you've got, I honestly, every time I hear you, I feel a little bit dumber for what you say.
And Donald Trump should be here. Just like the first debate last month, former President Donald Trump was a no-show. Former New Jersey Governor Chris Christie here gave him the moniker Donald Duck for ducking the debates. And a live look tonight at the U.S. Capitol, where just hours ago the U.S. Senate voted unanimously on a new dress code for men. The bipartisan resolution is in response to the rules being relaxed for Pennsylvania Democrat John Fetterman, who often wears hoodies and shorts on the Senate floor. The new rule requires men to wear a coat, tie, and slacks in the Senate chambers.
First Lady Jill Biden was in the Show Me State today. Tonight, she attended a fundraiser for President Biden's re-election campaign in Kansas City. Earlier today, she toured the Harry S. Truman Presidential Library and Museum in Independence. Mrs. Biden met with high school students to talk about civic literacy and education.
People really have a negative opinion of government. You know, they don't see the hard work. They don't see the perseverance. They don't see all the thought and the hard work and the critical thinking that go into each and every decision.
The First Lady ended her visit to the museum by laying flowers at President Truman's grave. $47 million is up for grabs in a new unclaimed property program in Illinois.
There is no catch, and you could get up to $5,000 without red tape. Michelle Lee explains in tonight's Making Ends Meet.
I'm in charge of unclaimed property. It's like I get to play Santa Claus 365 days a year, always giving away money.
Christmas will be just around the corner, but in Illinois, the gifts are coming right now. The state just launched a new money match program that will impact more than 66,000 Illinoisans to the tune of $47 million. It's part of the state's unclaimed property program.
Because some people say, how can the state afford to do this? This is not the state's money. This is the people's money.
It's cash that could be from a last check at an old job, a life insurance policy, overlooked safety deposit boxes, even unused rebate cards. Legally, the treasurer has to return that property to the owners or their heirs, no matter how long it takes. The Money Match program leverages technology to return money back to their rightful owners, and then we know that the General Assembly allowed the automatic cap to be lifted up to $5,000. It used to be just $2,000.
All they have to do is endorse it and cash the check. We've tried to make it very easy to remove excuses that people have had to put more money into our economy.
State Treasurer Michael Frerick says some people wouldn't claim their checks because it was too much of a hassle to claim a small amount. But now lifting that barrier means putting money back into the local economy and helping people make ends meet at a time when they need help.
Right now, with increases in inflation, gas prices, or families with back-to-school expenses, it's even more important to get money back into their hands.
For Making Ends Meet, Michelle Lee, 5 on your side.
If the state doesn't send you a check, you can still see if there's money out there for you. Go online to illinoistreasurer.gov and fill out the prompts. Now in Missouri, the address is treasurer.mo.gov. And in Missouri, you can fill out the prompts and even find property like military medals.
We hope you'll join us next week for our next Race, Listen, Learn, Live special, Fighting Anti-Semitism. It is sponsored by the St. Louis Kaplan Feldman Holocaust Museum. A Holocaust survivor will share her story, and you'll hear about local efforts to fight anti-Semitism. Plus, I'll moderate a panel discussion as we search for solutions. That's next Thursday, October 5th at 7 p.m. here on 5 on Your Side. You can also stream it on 5 Plus, on Roku, and Fire TV.
Let's get to Chief Meteorologist Scott Cano for the latest on your weather first forecast. Quite the picture behind you, Scott.
Yeah, you know, this was from last night. We had the hail around the area. A lot of folks have asked, well, what kind of storm does that? Well, it looks like this. These are those big cumulonimbus clouds, and Mike Buckley had the picture from Baldwin, really looking back to the east at that storm. Quite impressive, right? And it's that really central core that goes up, creates the hailstones, and causes all the problems. A lot quieter across the area tonight. Not for everybody, but for most of us. That's looking out at Lambert right now. Temperature at the moment, 72 degrees. Not raining right now. Last night, early this morning, we had a couple of bands where there was heavier rainfall. Some spots ended up with 3 to 5 inches. Metro East included, even over towards Greenville, Illinois. Most of us around the metro area, generally 1 to 2 inches. But as you went farther away from those bands, next to nothing in spots down 44. That's where the focus has been this evening, farther south of St. Louis. But these are not nearly as intense as what we saw last night. Moving in just west of Fredericktown, we do have some lightning with this. Ironton down to Annapolis right now, stretching back towards Lesterville and Centerville. That's all sliding away, but that boundary still stuck down to our south. That could be the focus overnight with that low-level jet interacting with it as it did last night over St. Louis. The areas just to our south and southwest may see some additional development through the overnight hours. So as we track this out, not expecting a lot, but that potential's there, especially right around daybreak. We tend to call those the sunrise surprise. A few showers and thunderstorms are certainly possible, but the chances of them being in the metro area are lower than they are being just to the south. But we'll see where they develop. Once we get done with that, that's it. Rest of the week is going to be quiet. 72 now, 84 was our high, 66 the low, 1.62 inches of rainfall, and that ends up being a record for the day in St. Louis. Upper 50s, lower 60s overnight tonight. The changes are coming as we head into the weekend. Why, you ask? Well, this system that's been with us the last couple of days pulls onto the east. That allows another big upper level system to drop out west. You get the big ridge building right over the bi-state region. We call that an omega block because it looks like the Greek letter omega. And it means for us warm, dry weather. And when we say warm, maybe even hot, near 90 this weekend. The only thing is, you know, Saturday's last day of September, first day of October, Sunday. It's 90 without the humidity that we're used to in the summertime. So it's, you know, comfortably warm, so to speak.
You know, the calendar says October in a couple of days there.
Just not going to feel like it for this first week of October. Second week of October, stay tuned.
Okay.
Wait and get the pumpkins then so they don't rot on your front porch.
Right.
All right, Scott, thanks. Frank is here with sports.
The Cardinals have found another way to lose. City SC is on the cusp of winning the West, and the basketball Billikens have brought out the ball rack.
The Sports Desk is sponsored by Jim Butler Chevrolet, the Midwest's #1 Chevy dealer 10 years running.
My radio partner and Billiken Hall of Famer Bob Ramsey likes to say about the baseball season, and I'm quoting, "Never fall in or out of love in September or March." Translated, just because the Cardinals are getting some good starting pitching here in the final week, it doesn't mean they don't need a whole new staff, because they do. Scott Connell's family having a reunion tonight in Milwaukee. This guy should be in the mix next season, though. He's a good one. Zach Thompson, brilliant against the Brewers. 5 1/3 innings, 5 strikeouts, and 1 earned run. He's a lefty who throws a smooth 95 miles an hour. He got no help from his defense in the 6th. Richie Palacios throwing to 3rd and just wasn't expected. A little drama, though, in the 9th. Jordan Walker will take Devin Williams deep, not deep enough. Brewers win 3-2.
This 5 on Your Side St. Louis City SC coverage is sponsored by Together Credit Union.
So one of the biggest beefs that fans have with the Cardinals this season is their rotating lineups. That also happens to be the biggest strength for City SC. Think about this. They started one lineup last Wednesday, and 8 different players started the next game. They are deeper than the Pacific Ocean, and things are really starting to get exciting at City Park. With 3 games left, they have an 8-point buffer for first place in the Western Conference, and the players know just how important securing that top seed and home field advantage could be for a long playoff run.
It's going to be very historical for the club. It's going to be really big because our fans, I feel like our fans are the best fans in the world. You know, I've never seen fans in the MLS just stand for 90 minutes on the first, line of the stadium. But yeah, it's going to be big for the fans, for the club, and it's going to bring a real joy, and everyone's going to remember this forever.
The Billiken men hosting 9th-ranked Missouri State tonight at Herman Stadium. This is first-half action, and off the free kick, the ball's going to be headed out and then headed in by Diego Konix, 1-0 SLU. Mo State is an interesting team. They have only 2 players on their roster from the United States, and after the centering pass, Michael Peck scores for the Bears. The game ended in a 1-1 draw. While the soccer season is well underway at SLU, the basketball team rolled out the balls for their first official workout today. Travis Ford has to replace 4 starters. Now, normally that would really be a tough thing to do, but now a college coach is like a general manager of a professional team. You go to the portal, you find some players, and hopefully get them a nice name, image, and likeness deal. The 53-year-old Ford knows the landscape. He's won 411 games, and he's had 4 straight 20-win seasons for SLU. So he knew he had to work the portal, and one of his new players is Tim Dowger from Tulsa. He's a 6'7" forward who averaged 10 points and 5 rebounds last season. The Bills will play their first game in 27 days, so Travis has to get his new roster ready quickly.
We've only had to fill 2 or 3, roster spots a year, so this is different. And it's got us energized. It's exciting in some ways. It's keeps me up at night in other ways. But I like our group. I like our guys. I like the personalities.
But have you ever heard a coach say, I really don't like our team?
Right.
We're not going to win many games.
You certainly don't want to say that this time of year. All right. Frank, thanks very much.
Taylor Swift's return to Arrowhead has inspired a condiment combo. But bottles may be harder to get than tickets to her Eras tour. The St. Louis Art Museum will reopen tomorrow. It closed yesterday afternoon after the museum's transformer failed. Officials tell us the problem has been fixed. The museum is open every day at 10 a.m. except on Mondays.
The St. Louis Battlehawks are upping the game day experience. The Battlehawks Bridge is a new all-inclusive season ticket membership. You have a choice of club seats or loge boxes in the end zone. The tickets come with a private hospitality area that includes a full-service bar, food, pool tables, and lounge furniture.
Heinz is going back to its Cranch era to cash in on the Taylor Swift-Travis Kelce rumors. The company is releasing a limited edition ketchup and seemingly ranch sauce. The 100 bottles, that's it, of repurposed Cranch sauce were inspired by Swift's appearance at Sunday's Kansas City Chiefs game. A viral tweet pointed out the pop star appeared to be eating a piece of chicken with ketchup and, quote, seemingly ranch, because of course we had to zoom in on whatever she was eating the entire time she was
seemingly ranch.
I think, I'm not really sure either. I think it's like ketchup and ranch mixed together. Andrew, is that right? They thought it was ranch, but they weren't sure.
They weren't sure.
Okay.
Whatever Taylor Swift does. There you have
We
it.
need
5 on
it.
your side at 10.